healed from those. Yeah.
Wow. So you've experienced this yourself. Have you seen anything else that you've seen firsthand?
Absolutely.
Oh. Yeah. What have you seen? What have you seen? What else have you seen?
Absolutely. Look, I've had clients. I had one gentleman who came for a consultation. He had a disc removed. He had a bulging disc. They removed it. They fused a couple of vertebrae together, and after the operation, he'd started getting this really bad sciatic pain. He came to me, and we just worked on a few issues just in one session. And by the end of that session, he stands up. He says to me, "Mark, I cannot feel any pain." He bent over and touched his toes, and he was absolutely amazed because the day before he was probably able to move his back about 5 degrees. So it was a huge shift. So I've witnessed that. And ThetaHealing has given me the understanding of how this all works. Because if I break down my life, I get the understanding. So when I had my MRI scan, it said there was deformity of T6 and partial collapse of T7. When I went back and had some back x-rays done, that was completely healed. So, but what had happened was growing up, I'd had a wonderful family life. My father passed away when I was 16, and it was really interesting because it was coming up to the 16th year that he'd passed away. And what was going through my head was I've been without him longer than I was with him. So there were emotional issues there of support. Now, emotional issues in our back are about support. So that's why it manifested in the back. And all it was unresolved issues that I hadn't cleared. With the broken bones, there's a general association with connection to God. I'd been brought up with Catholicism, from a very strong Catholic background, and I'd been studying spirituality for about 11 years, and I really didn't grasp how they fit together. I didn't understand how they all worked. And then sitting on my hospital bed, I said to my wife Teresa once, I said, what do I actually believe in? Do I believe in Christianity or do I believe in this spirituality? So there was a real block in my understanding there of how it all worked, and it manifested in the broken bones.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we actually worked on the issues that particular day with the consultation, it was around resentment toward my father. Now, if you told me I was carrying resentment toward my father, I would never have believed you. But it wasn't until we actually sat there and started working on those issues that I realised, because all my life, well, since that time, I'd always said to myself there was so much more he had to teach me.
Mm.
So because that support wasn't there, even though I've got a wonderfully supportive family, and my wife's very supportive as well, I couldn't see the support that I actually had in my life because the support from my father was missing.
So you've got clients now. What sort of issues are clients coming to you with?
Absolutely everything. I have emotional issues, from things just as simple as being nervous to speak in front of a crowd, fears of spiders, all those sorts of things, little things like that, to cancers and a number of other physical illnesses, cerebral palsy, MS.
So how do you feel like your success rate? What do you think your success rate would be if someone was to ask you, if you've had 100 people, how many do you think you've pulled through?
Yeah. If we break that up into smaller categories again, like emotional issues, I'd probably say it's at least 90%.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Physical issues, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for the body to heal, but if a person is ready to heal and they're really open to acknowledging what the real underlying issues are that are holding them in place, then people heal extremely quickly.
So you've gone from really not knowing about these issues to really now fully understanding them and how they affect people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so from that point on, with the understanding that I have now, and when I teach my workshops, the main message that I send out there is about empowerment, because every single one of us really does create our own reality. Our belief systems, our limiting beliefs that hold us back, are what creates our reality today. So everything that has ever happened to you is a perfect manifestation of your belief systems. Whether you judge it to be good or bad, it is a perfect manifestation. And in the true essence of everything around us, everything is just love. That is the one true energy. That is the true God energy. And what happens is a situation is just a situation. When we label it with good or bad, that's when it takes on a whole new meaning. So if we can just look at every situation that's ever happened to us in our lives from that space of love, then it really elevates us to that next level. It moves us forward in a great way.
That's okay. I was going to say, did your friends suddenly notice that you'd changed?
Oh, absolutely. That, look, to be totally honest with you, that's pretty much the reason why I ended up getting into becoming an instructor and actually doing consultations, because I was half dead, literally, and all of a sudden, in the space of a week and a half, I was completely healed. Friends and family were queuing up to get healings with me, and I was actually really busy doing consultations for friends and family because they saw the results that it had in me. And then from there, before I knew it, I was seeing clients, and then I heard Vienna was coming to Australia to do the teacher training, and I just had to meet this lady.
So pretty much from the time of being ill to within a month or two, you were working on other people.
Oh, absolutely.
Just like that.
From the time of being healed, if you look at this, well, I went home and worked on my wife straight away after I did the first course, but other people, it was that following week after I'd completed both courses, I was straight into it working on people.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been an incredible journey, absolutely incredible journey, and it's just been so exciting, and I've met some of the most amazing people along the way, and the realization for all of us is that we're either a victim to our circumstances or we're empowered, and the key is understanding that we can raise ourselves above the situations that are happening around us, the situations that are happening in our lives, because it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it. And those reactions are generally based on childhood perceptions of how we've perceived our environment.
I guess you'd have to come across skeptics too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's okay. I guess it's okay to be skeptical.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think happens to people who are skeptical about things in their life? What sort of diseases could they manifest upon themselves by being skeptical about everything?
That's a very broad question, because the key is like whether they're skeptical or not. If they have a belief that they are perfectly healthy, then it doesn't matter how skeptical they